Morning, everybody. I don't know whether that worked or not. I've just come back here and see that I was trying to scroll the boats for sale on the tracker page, but it looks like it's stuck on the homepage. Anyway, I'm going to come back here while we're waiting for people. You're on the homepage, and that should be the same one. Yes. So if you go for boats for sale, we've got quite a few boats for sale, and they're going like hotcakes, and there's a lot of people talking about them. We've got Tracker for sale for 55, pretty good deal. If you had to rebuild that now, it costs a lot more. Selling points on Tracker. It's got the Sparcraft rig, got a truckload of sails, got the hydrovane, and lots of gear with that. Entrant's got a lot of extras. Number two's there, not listed in price, but it's going to be listed for 50 for a couple of reasons. Again, got the hydrovane, got some new sails, got a brand new outboard, brand new e-propulsion outboard, and bits and pieces with virtually a new trailer delivered back to UK. Tracker's going back to UK as well on the ship. I think number two sailing back to UK. Immortal Gain is up for I forget the price now. Let's have a quick look. Immortal Gain is up for sale, but if it's not sold by a certain time, then it's going back to Australia. So you've only got a short time to grab this one. €39,000, but that's going to be in Antigua. I think it is, yeah, €39,000 in Antigua, or it's shipping back to Australia, and then the game changes. Little Wren is a really nice, tidy boat. It's got the South Atlantic wind vane, very tidy. Got all original sails. Got the trailer, second-hand trailer, 45 grand. That's pretty cool. And we got one boat in America, and that's Jack's boat. He's after 55. I forget whether that's US. I think it's 55 US. Only done a Transat, so all the sales are good, all that sort of stuff. It's pretty much ready to go. Like that was built alongside Sunbear. They built both boats together, so that's pretty cool. And it's in America, ready to go. Capuchinet was, good deal, but that's well, I can't say. Some of these boats have been sold, but we're not announcing which ones have sold because the owners of the boats haven't. There's some pretty impressive owners, by the way, and they haven't. They're going to make announcements later on. So, but she was up for Capuchinet was up for 55. If you haven't seen no, that's Jack's boat. Sorry, I forget now what the deal was with Capuchinet. Let's have a quick look. She was up for 45. Pretty original around the world, and I'm not sure whether that was in Antigua or not. Right, it might have been in Antigua. And Little B, she's headed for Portugal, so that was a good deal. And you got Molly Claire there, which I think was still a bit of a deal because prices was pretty right. Yeah, 32. That's basically what it cost. Jim to build the boat back then, but back in 21 he did the 21 Transat, but since then they've done quite a few different things to it, like to tidy it up and bits and pieces. Nice boat, but they only sailed one Transat and then across the North Sea there from Ireland back to Holland. So she's in Holland, and there's a couple of others going to come up shortly. I forget who they were, but interesting stuff there for a couple of reasons. A few people, a few 580s. I'm going to see you all in at the Jester Challenge thing in February. I think that just about all the tickets are sold out now. There might be one or two left, but there's got. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the 580 sailors. So that's cool. That'll be a bit of fun. So if you're building in the UK and you want to catch up with us, we'll all get together, have a little sub thing, we'll have a drink, whatever. Chat boats, but a couple of the Jester guys. In fact, some have just signed on to the GGR 2030, but they're looking at 580, and it was interesting because some people look, do I buy or I build? Obviously, it's economically a lot easier to buy, but they're also saying it, but hang on, part of the rite of passage is to actually build your boat. And so even though it's a bargain and a deal to buy an existing boat, there is an absolute attraction to building your own boat. It's your boat, so I get that entirely. So anyway, if you're thinking of buying, don't waste time, because 3 of those boats are already sold. In fact, 4. Within the fleet, there's some that never got listed. They got sold before that. So there's an opportunity there. Gets you into the Transat really quickly, and so on. Anyway, let's another interesting thing. My computer says it's 8 minutes past 9, but my phone says it's 13 minutes past 9. So maybe when I'm saying I'm late, I'm later than I think. I got no idea which is real. I thought they're both real, like atomic nuclear time. On my computer says at 9 minutes past 9 now. So that means the phone is 4 minutes different, which is really strange, because it's all supposed to be electronic. Thought the world knows what we're doing. Tells us where to be, what to go. Jeepers, the world's screwed up right now. Anyway, getting back to the tracker now, I'm getting you to the start of the tracker, because I'm going to go straight back to the same page. And this is our beautiful homepage here, in case you hadn't seen it, but I'm sure you all have. Pick a box. It's like BP Pick a Box. Is that right? Yeah, a TV game when I was a kid, about 7 or 8. So we don't want boats for sale. We don't want Graham's weekly report. We don't want Entrant satellite calls. We would have put a few of them up, because they've all been green Graham. And we're so busy. Jane was up until 2 o'clock this morning doing a GGR video. Anyway, we don't want Facebook updates. We don't want Entrant boat tours. But if you're looking at boats for sale, they've all usually got a boat tour there. And then we've got the live tracker. So there we go. Now that everyone's just disappeared because they're all waiting for the tracker and I haven't even got there yet. Yesterday I forgot the Entrant reports, but I'm not forgetting them today. Oh, sheepers. Now, hang on a sec. Am I on the right one? Because I thought I put the bloody... Hang on a sec. I've got to go back and check something here. Yes, it is the right one. Okay. I've got a few too many open on here, but that's the right one. 318 days that we've been out here, and we'll put the weather on. We'll zoom it up a little bit, see what's happening. Oh, head back to the rum line by the look of it. Yep, gentle progress to the rum line. And I like to put the grids on there. So that's all looking good. I'll make it a little bit bigger by scrolling it up here. Here we go. We need some more tails on there. I like to see all the tails. There we go. So Josh, down here doing 4.8 knots and 97 mile a day. Kerry, went a little bit too far to the west, now heading back slowly. 5.4 knots and 112 mile a day. Certainly softening off a bit. Urton, 101 mile a day, 4.4. So Kerry's picked up a little bit there. Going to be passing Urton soon. Will he get Urton before St. Helena? Maybe not. Jasmine, is she on the right time? Yes, 8 o'clock, but didn't quite get past her mate alongside. 3.3 knots and 89 mile day. Then we've got Eric, 4.9 and 101 mile day. Yeah, so they're still pretty much side by side. I'll pick this up a little bit now for all our phone mobile users. Christian with his baby photos with his dad sailing the big boat when it was going around the world on his own private Facebook page. Currently doing 4.8 knots, 99 nautical miles. Okay, Pilo gone out to the east, doing 5.4, 117. Not too bad. Neck and neck with Adam, 5.5 knots, 116. Jacob on the hunt, holding third position, trying to catch up with Dan. 5.5 and 112 mile day. So it's not bad. 112. Peeler's 117. So Peeler took a little bit out there. And Adam's on 116. Jacob 112. Better wake up, Jacob. Whew. Dan 118. So holding his own, pulling away a bit. And Renault 115. So they're taking 3 miles, closing the gap. So what's the gap compared to the distance to the finish, which is still relevant until they get through St. Helena? 2014 8.9. So let's say 15. So 2015, he's done 115 mile day today. So 15, and Dan is on 38. So it's 15 plus another 8, 5, so that's 23 miles behind. Not too bad. Not too bad at all, because they've been quite a distance. So they're hanging in there. Come on, Dan, get out there. Give him a hard time. So that's all pretty much looking like fun. They're all having a good time. So where's St. Helena? Here it is. They're boring down. Still getting pretty good averages, which means they should get there on the 10th maybe. It's now the 8th, 9th, 10th. 2 days to go. Geez, I'm clever. I can count 2 days. 230, yeah, it's going to be touch and go. So 8, 9, 10. Yep, they should be there at the end of the day. And then the others 11, 12. So today is, what day is today? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They're going to be there on the weekend. That's a bit of buzz for them. But how slow are they going to go in the next couple of days? Let's do a close-up. We'll leave it at that distance, and we'll look at the next 2 days of weather for the fleet. We can see where they are there. So I'm now pushing it through every 3 hours. Still pretty good. Very light. Renault's going to slow down. And the wind seems to be coming up from behind. So that might give the back end about another 3 or 4 mile gain on the leaders. That's about all. But then we're still on the 9th there. So yeah, it's a bit iffy. I think Renault will be doing 100 mile a day for the next day. But then it's filling in. So I think one slower day and one ordinary day. So they might be pushing it. The leaders might be pushing to get there by the 10th. They might be there at dark. But anyway, that's fine. And then going through there, yeah, there's breeze. So they should be getting in over the weekend anyway. Maybe the tail enders will be Monday. That's all pretty straightforward. I don't think there's any surprises anywhere. When we scran out, you can see it's trade winds. Unbelievable. They're enjoying the ride. I won't say some are getting bored, but they've certainly got plenty of time to contemplate the meaning of life. Look at that St. Helena high there. That's sort of looking like a St. Helena high there, but this is turning into the South Atlantic high here. That's all going to mold together, maybe. So what's it looking like in the weeks ahead once they leave? Still the same. So this is looking at the 17th, long-term weather. But you can see this is another really good run from St. Helena to Recife in Brazil. That's, going to be another one. And then, looking ahead, you can see here, this is another one. This is all, it may not be behind, it's on the beam, so it could be wet, this leg. It's another 2,500 miles from Recife all the way to Antigua. And you can see it's pretty much on the beam rather than coming from astern on the stern quarters. So it's going to be different. It's going to be a bit bumpy, but at the same time, with pressure on the sail, it depends on sea state. So what's the sea state doing there at the moment? Waves. You get that? You can see it gets a bit boisterous. So this is sort of 3 meters on the beam. And the weather for this time of the year, that's about right. They're going to be there in a month. So it's wet and woolly, but you never know how that will pan out. But it's very enjoyable, whatever the system. And I don't think there's any currents up there, but while we're looking, let's have a look. I can't read the bloody thing because here we go. Currents, that must be currents there. Ooh, jeepers. Not quite the Gulf Stream because not the right area, but they're going to be zipping along with that one, couple of knots. They've got to be careful here too because the Amazon is there and you get a big blowout from the Amazon here. A lot of rubbish coming out, trees and bits and pieces, and we've already tipped them off that you got to be, you want to be at least 300 miles offshore here because there's logs and trees and stuff all coming out of the river. And some of the entrants are saying, oh, well, why don't we put a waypoint out here so everyone's got to go around? But that starts to, I like leaving those decisions to the skipper because it makes them think. it's more interesting. If we just put a waypoint, everyone got to go, that's boring, just go around the waypoint, follow the leader and all that stuff, so they can make their own decisions on what's safe and what's not. But boy, I didn't. Interesting, eh? I'm a bit ignorant on that. I hadn't looked at this ever before on currents in this part of the world. I've never had to. Well, I sailed it in the BOC, but we didn't have this technology back then. You bloody had nothing, just normal weather facts, nothing on currents like this. So that's a beauty going along there. First time I've seen it. A little rotation, so and then coming up into the Caribbean, nothing there. So got to sail past Venezuela. Hard hats. They got helmets, they'll be right. Okay, so I think that's enough for that one. I'll read you the Entrant reports before I forget. So here I come. I'm there. We got another one. About St. Helena. I've got a message from Renault here. On port or starboard, could you please confirm to all that we can go both port and starboard? Oh, they never listened to the briefings. We discussed this at the briefing, but maybe I didn't put it in writing. I don't know. Renault's just asking whether they can go port or starboard of St. Helena. And originally it was starboard, but we discussed it at the briefing, and I said, okay, I don't want to create any issues if there's safety stuff there. So they can go either side. Renault may be watching this, but I'll reply to your message shortly, Renault. So they can go to the east or west, which is, I forget whether I put it in writing or not, maybe I didn't, but we made it very clear then. So he's just checking to make absolutely certain, because that could cost him some time if he didn't get it right. Here we go. I got a message from Gary too here, which is about the, I haven't read it all. This is interesting. Gary won't mind. This is a personal message about, because I said yesterday, I haven't had much discussion with the Aussies about the idea of a race from Sydney to Darwin. But the idea was that if you go up there, you just go pick your boat up on the trailer and bring it home, because it's quite a big fun trip. You know, most people don't get to drive through the centre of Australia. I've never done it. I've gone halfway up. I've flown in there. I had a Mall 180 tri-gear, 4-seat, constant speed prop plane, and we flew into a couple of spots up there. Good fun. But anyway, here's what I haven't read this yet. I'm going to read it live because I'm sure he's not swearing. The idea of a race Darwin to Sydney would certainly be a lot of fun, but getting a boat back from Darwin is expensive. Life costs. You know, you do things that sound good. I had quotes between 12 to 20,000 to ship it back by a commercial company. As it was, I think it cost me about 7,000 by the time I spent money modifying borrowed trailer, blah, 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 blah. That might turn people off unless a deal could be done with a trucking company. Well, that's up to the sailors to bring the boats back, because this is a big thing. Life costs money. When I did the bounty boat trip, it cost me $300,000 to do the bounty boat trip from Tonga to Thingo. When I went and lived in Antarctica for a year, it cost me nearly $800,000, right, in cash flow. That's buying the boat. It cost $60,000 for the box, all these sorts of things. But in the end, I got most of that back. I had $200,000 with sponsors, and I sold the boat eventually. The boat was a big ticket item, $500,000 or something. And we start to recover. But when you do things, there's no cheap way out of it. But Gary's onto it. You've got to work out how to make it as economic as possible. But it always costs money. So by the time I spent money modifying borrowed trailer to accommodation, food, that might turn people off unless a deal could be done with a trucking company. Others might sail onto Indonesia maybe. If I still had my boat, I would most likely do it. The other matter, you mentioned that 3 boats had sold. Can you tell me which ones, how much they sold for, please? I'm kicking myself for not carrying on in the race. Such is life. I don't know whether we'll be able to, because I don't ask the owners at this stage what the boats are selling for, right? At the end of the day, I help them with what I believe is the right price without any negotiations. So had an interesting conversation with Jasmine's mum yesterday about what price should it be. And, you can see, you buy a hydrovane, costs you €5,000 for a hydrovane. You buy an electric motor, costs you €2,000 for electric motor. So the hydrovane they could go 5 times around the world. They're basically brand new, they don't change. And the brand new outboard that hasn't done the race, because they put a brand new outboard on in Cape Town, and that's only going to be used three or four times now before they get it back. So you just look at the values, compared to another boat that might have all original sails and a different trailer, and because their trailer's virtually brand new as well. And so you juggle the values on that, and then it's up to the owners. And also depends where you're picking it up, and so on. Jazz got some new sail, brand new sails. New sail costs you $1,500 or something like that. So, but the selling prices are all there, so you can see what happens. So our role is to do that. But I'll tell you later, Gary, which ones have been sold. It's just that some of the owners that have bought them don't want to be named yet, and it's up to the owners of the boat to tell us officially to pull it down when it's there. So, because some of them have got deposits on, but they haven't paid all the money and things like that, so they're sort of unavailable. They pay $10,000 or pay 10% deposit or something, and then they've got to pay the rest of the money. And I'm just letting people know, because I know it's what happened to Jasmine. She had her eyes on Kerry's boat, on Origami, and she wanted it, but she was thinking about it, and when she said, "Bugger it, I'm doing this," bang, oh, sorry, sold. Oh, bugger. And I know what it's like, because that's happened to me. So if you're thinking of buying a boat, I'm quite convinced they're all going to be gone very quickly, and they're the last ones that are for sale. So apart from that, you're going to have to build your boat. It's not much time to build a boat before the Transat. So, and I know there's a few, I've been speaking to people, they're sitting on the fence. Better be quick. Okay, good to hear from you, Gary. I'll get back to you if you're watching this on that. Entrant report. So I forgot them yesterday. I thought that it's funny when I don't feel right about the thing. As soon as I shut it down, it's like, bloody hell, I forgot the tracker, the entrant reports. So here they come. Entrant reports. Now all the entrants are commenting on others' reports. Hang on. Christian, I've got to get the dates. Jeepers, I've got too many bloody messages on here now. Today, that's today, so these are all yesterday from Adam. So that Tracker Life is good. Yep, that was where it started from. Terry Harris again next year, perhaps. I go in the afternoon. Okay. I think I'm from here. Josh, this is the day before yesterday, because I've got to look at the times. 9 o'clock, Jacob. Yeah, okay, so Josh. Starting from Josh, this is the day before yesterday. Skookum. Been going noticeably slower than usual, as I was suspecting some seaweed or something wrapped around the keel. Then last night, I could hear whatever it was knocking against the hull, so I was dragging the boat saying bang, 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 bang. I need to dive in and clear it off, but the wind is up and the sea is running, so I need to be a little calmer. Need it to be a little calmer before I go in. Still just plodding along, keel parasite in tow. So he's towing some rubbish under the keel. This was a couple of days ago, effectively. Then Christian, trade winds are softening. Trade winds are softening and a little bit more unstable. Can't make the speeds I would like to in these conditions. However, something happens to my right shoulder in the last couple of days, and it's causing more pain than the left one where the rupture is confirmed. But that ain't going to stop me now. Meanwhile, I'm enjoying the Atlantic, showing us its gentle side at the moment. Bit of frustration with lots of variable stuff, having some of the crews talking about, not much sleep and bits and pieces. Oh, that's the funniest one. Did you see I hope you saw the live from Eric. It's the funniest one I've seen. Maybe it's just my obscure humour. 2026, the year of laughter for me. I'm going to laugh a lot. But anyway, he's talking about, hey, everybody, I'm here, I'm on Dingo, and he's got his bunk made with a pillow there, and I'm thinking, that's looking pretty cosy. And as he's talking, he's slowly rolling back, and he's really tired, and he looks as if he's falling asleep while he's talking, and by the time the post is finished, he's laying back on the bunk. It's really funny. I was cracking myself when I was watching this. Shit, he's going to go to sleep. But anyway, that's just me. Anyway, that was good, Eric. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. Anyway, Then Tracker. This is Tracker's report. It's a massive report. It's really interesting, which I've already told you. So this is Tracker's report from yesterday. Tracker. Life is good. Days are going too quickly. That's it. So that's cool. And then Jake comes up and says, it's not even 50 letters because they're supposed to say reports are about 50 words. So I'm trying not to give you all the messages. Some of them are quite funny. Then Entrant apologises. Sorry, Jacob. Adam, here we go. Finished my last eggs today. Perhaps a good thing, as I have eaten omelette for 10 nights in a row. Jeepers. Little Ren is in great shape and enjoying being back in the Atlantic, I can imagine. It's fantastic sailing. Jasmine, slower day again. Number 2 doesn't do well in light winds. Warm and beautiful out here, though. Hydrovane has decided to give me a problem that will need a more permanent fix when I get to land. Oh, I wonder what that is. Hard to tell if it's that or the changing winds that are making it harder to stay in a straight line. Interesting. Today from Kerry, Origami, big one. I'm not sure which is the most numerous among the phenomena cited these past few days. The Portuguese man of wars we passed on calmer days, the myriad of stars in Hera's lactic constellation spied last night before the waning moon rose, the waning moon rose, or the outbreak of smallpox on my mainsail. I've lost count of the number of red patches applied to that sail now, but it's a miracle it still holds together. Praise be for sail number cloth and hot, dry days to apply it. That's interesting. I'm looking forward to catching up with the flock at St. Helena and telling them what a great 2 days they missed out on in Table Bay. Okay, he's got a sense of humour still. Chasing zephyrs and celebrating every 0.1 knot, especially when it was in the right direction. To reassure Jasmine, it's the shifting winds and wave directions that elicit our current drunken meandering, at least until the trade winds stabilise again in the coming days. Well, that's my story anyway. All right, so that's pretty much it for Entrant updates. I've ticked that box. There was something else I was going to tell you about, but I've forgotten about it already. So here we go. Tracker. Good morning from Tracker. Oh, Entrant's watching. Nice report, Tracker. But anyway, we chat anyway off the official system. Entrant's a big one on the phone. So, and Entrant, your Turkish delight is unbelievable. Jane won't leave it alone. I told her it's mine, not hers. So that's cool. And Ada was gobbing it as well, by the way. Entrant, you'll like that. She likes it. And Don, I've booked a place at the Jester meet. Oh, good on you. $291. Milady. Very cool. Look forward to chatting. That'll be fun. Good bunch of people. I've actually never met any of the Jester people, but I follow them and I get it. What they do is fantastic. So it'll be quite a bit of fun, that one. Jonas, g'day. Mike. So eventually it looks like there could be more buyers than builders in future events. Maybe, but as I said, I'm not we're still selling plants, and I'm not expecting the building to slow down, but there is an element. There's 3 types of builders. There's the builder that just loves the idea of building the boat and does a little bit of sailing, okay, with the boat, has a bit of fun, and then they'll sell it. They'll be the absolute bargains, because usually the ones that like building us, they'll do it like Christian did, a piece of furniture, or Gary. And then there's the builders that want to build the boat because they want it just the way they want it because they're real sailors and they're going to do the MGR, but they just want their boat. It's like me, I wanted my boat, set it up the way I wanted it. Would I buy another boat? I probably may, but there's a certain thing about setting it up exactly the way you want it as new and all that cool stuff, right? And then there's the ones that just want to do the sailing in the boat, and they're the ones that will buy the boat and possibly modify it a bit. But I can guarantee you there's more people that want to buy boats than boats are available. That's it. And they forget the fact that this sounds crazy because obviously there's only a certain number of boats for sale, but you forget about that sometimes. You see all these boats for sale. Oh, that's cool. I'll do this, that, and the other. Better make up your mind. They're all going to be gone very soon. And when they're gone, all of a sudden people say, oh, and they write me letters, messages and stuff. Say, oh, what boats are for sale? I say, well, have a look on the site. There's none. And then they'll sort of miss out. But yes, there will be more boats coming up for sale because most people, or a lot of them, well, there's a few wild cards. I won't mention a certain young lady. She's doing the Transat in 26, got a beautiful boat. It's all happening. But I'm thinking, I wonder if she's not saying too much and is going to do the MGR as well, or just, I mean, you could have fun if you do a Transat. You could also go and do another Transat after. Doing Transats all the time is not too bad. Bit of fun. Okay, well, 013 is correct. Thanks for that. So that means my phone is correct and my computer's out. That's weird. Anyway, Graham. Hi, Don. Good morning from Aberdeen. It's been snowing since the 1st. Jeepers. All our snow's melted now. 24 inches. Finding a tracker update every day. Fantastic. Stay warm. Also, hello, Don. Thank you for the update. Never a dull moment. It's always interesting. Cool. Yeah, thanks for the time. Now I know that my phone is correct, so I'm trying to work out what's going on. Okay, that's it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Jeepers, that was a long one. It's not even the weekend. Have a good day. Like, share, tell everyone what's going on. It's going to be all